Isaac Armstead, cornerback at the University of South Dakota. My mom had 4 of us, 4 boys, so it was always a fun household. My brother's the oldest, he's 25, I'm 22. I have a little brother, Daniel, he's a junior right now down in Dallas, Texas. And I have our youngest brother, he's in 6th grade, DJ. All football players. The sports I grew up playing, basketball, football, track, wrestling, a little bit of baseball. We were always enamored with a lot of sports growing up. Very busy household, for sure. It wasn't until high school where I really had to hone in and understand, okay, these are the 2 sports that I'm really, really good at and that could eventually help me get into college, for sure. My recruiting process is a little bit different than most. Coming out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, we're the biggest high school in Oklahoma, and so we're always producing big talent. And I didn't start until I was a senior in high school. So my game film was primarily just practice film, and I was really banking on my senior year getting somewhere. Going into my senior year, I did a lot of camps. I was fortunate enough to get a couple Ivy League scholarships, but later, as soon as I got on campus and understood like, hey, like this is somewhere I could be, I just kind of fell in love and I decided like this would be the school for me. In the past, we were so close to winning some games. We were 4-7, 4-8, freshman, sophomore year, and we knew we had the talent, but something was missing. And so when the new staff came in, they kind of brought in a fresh perspective on our season and who we had and how we could get over that hump. And understanding that, you know, we had the guys, we had the coaches, we had the school behind us, and just really capitalizing on those 1 or 2 plays at the end of the game really propelled us into a great season last year. Coach Watson really prepared us, all of us DBs, and just hammered in, day out, that, you know, your time can come, always be ready. And so getting those reps in practice and seeing it translate to the field was definitely rewarding to see. My first memory down in Nicholls State, my whole family is from Louisiana. So I had a lot of people come out, and I believe like my favorite moment was really the initial walking into the stadium and seeing my grandpa and grandma out there yelling my name and just like, trying to focus on the game. That was a fun one for sure. Environment was awesome, it was warm. It felt like I was home again, and we were able to make so many plays, and I also got an interception, tackles everywhere. It was definitely a fun game for our defense, that was for sure. I spoke with Coach Watson, and it was interesting. He was able to help me find my voice. It was fun to see how guys were always looking to me to say something, or not necessarily always leading by example, but also being that vocal leader as well. So that was cool to incorporate into the spring to see me transition my new role. My impressions on fall camp, it's a grind. But fall camp, it's where you really understand what your team's about and who's gonna step up, and it's that day in and day out grind. You're starting to shape that culture. You're starting to shape who your team, that identity is. And we're gonna be able to really test that September 1st. My mom, my dad, especially my little brothers, they follow South Dakota heavily ever since my brother got here. And you know, Oklahoma's that's a long ways away. So I mean, they're not able to always come, but they always make D-Days. They make the closest game they can. I remember one year it was like Missouri State. They will be here from Manhattan. They told me in advance, get as many tickets as you can. The family's coming out. So it's definitely a fun atmosphere, fun game for sure. So I'm a business major, also emphasizing computer science. And the university here at South Dakota has a cool joint program. So I'm also getting my MBA in supply chain. And so my father has always emphasized how important it is not just to be an athlete, but also be a student. Because you never know, your clock may run out or something may happen. You always have to have a plan B. Like many freshmen, I was unsure what I wanted to do. And transitioning through freshman and sophomore year, I started getting interested in business and finding the peak between technology and trying to see where those 2 points diverged at. So this past summer, I worked at GE Aviation in Grand Rapids, Michigan as a software engineering intern. Great role, it definitely stretched me. Got to work with different types of software testing, GPMs, efficiencies, a lot of boring acronyms that are sometimes over the head, but at the end of the day, I learned a lot, and it was cool to see that transition and see like peeking into like the future and where I could potentially be at. So my summer was a lot of fun for sure.